If you haven't applied your winter mulch, guys, it's not too late.
That's right. Okay. Why? Like you told me there's a new law about mulch. And this is New Jersey.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's other
states. State of New Jersey, as of April 15th, the New Jersey State Code for next year will be you have to have 18 inches minimum of space between your mulch beds and combustible building materials. So any wood structures, you got to be 18 inches away. At least a foot and a half clearance, guys. Porch police. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, is it, right? The mulch police.
Mulch police, right.
Mulch police. And it's fined by, life in prison or death.
Well, the excuse is it says that I think the fire safety chief he mentioned that mulch is combustible. I mean, we know that, but he said it may be extremely challenging to extinguish if caught. And the fire,
I'll buy that.
Right, with the dryness that we've had, this recent
that was April.
September,
dry in April. Trust me, I was wringing my hands, wondering, are we going to be here again next year?
They say it's for our safety. I don't know if I'm buying that.
All right, so what do? You go, I guess, take stone and make a border of stone that's hidden. And I've seen it both ways. I've seen one where, like, in a parking lot, somebody throws a cigarette in the mulch, right, in like a bed in a parking lot, and that smolders, and all of a sudden it catches fire. Sure. And like you're saying, it does. It kind of like burns like under the mulch, right, and it can be bad. Right. I get it. I don't know. We need a law.
Well, and the thing is that I don't think it's there's a big gray area in terms of who can it apply to. You guys need to make sure you check. I cannot emphasize it. Go to 511nj.org, guys, for you to make sure that you get all the information that you need. You don't need any extra tickets, guys. I promise you that. I don't.
Ticket.
Mulch police.
Mulch police. Anyway, maybe it could be just a start off rather than threatening that it should be started off where it's like, here's a good idea.
It may be born out of safety, but I'm just not sure.
Well, the issue is, okay, so what do you do? 18 inches from the house is not that far.
I mean, you just try to keep your mulch wet or at least moist.
You can't do that either. I mean, we do want people to have a sprinkler system, but
I'd imagine the mulch police drive the Fred Flintstone mobile.
Oh, don't you start. They're going to come after your idea.
I'm sorry.
That is not right. You are in trouble. Sorry. They're going to find out where that North Jersey house is.
Send your hate mail to Julio Zamora.
Julio Zamora. Care of Judy, his new wife.
Sorry, guys.
Well, but mulching this time of the year, we always talk about it's the winter winds and it's really dry. We always talk about bloody noses in the winter. Sure. Where your sinuses dry out and you go to rub your nose and all of a sudden it's a big blood stain. And it's because the air is so dry, and especially in your house, but also it's outside your house. And having mulch around your plants is something that you should do as long as it's 18 inches away from your superstructure. Whatever. So we'll play that for right now, and we're gonna use that. But still, bark mulches. You're gonna use a bark mulch. If you're using recycled, like, oh, I love black dyed mulch, or what's the worst? I love the red mulch that looks orange, perfect for McDonald's.
It just doesn't. Black, red just don't look natural to me.
Black's not bad. There's brown dyed, which looks pretty good.
I like the brown.
Problem with the recycled mulch is that it's 20% demolition wood. So it's 2x4s, it's pallets. You never know what you're getting.
Sure.
I understand that's a good green thing to do.
I like cedar also.
I like cedar.
Cedar is
nice my best. It's a little lighter. You get it brown, and that all mulches, and even the dyed mulches, are going to dry out, and that surface is going to turn to a little bit of a gray color. So keep that in mind. There's shredded hardwood mulch, which is good. There's shredded hardwood root mulch, which is even better. I like, everything we talk about is color, texture, and form. Color of the mulch, the texture of the mulch, and that's when it's a triple shred.
Right.
Ooh, that's sweet. That's sweet. But maybe that's good tinder. Anyway, but you want to use something that is going to be 4 inches thick around your plants, but next spring, you may not have to add, rough it up, loosen it up, maybe turn it over, and that's maybe all you need to do. You don't necessarily need to put another 4 inches on top. See how much is there between the soil,
right?
And because you want some air circulation to be down in there too.
Yeah, I find I don't have to add much at all.
Yeah.
I just dig down. And
if you just fluff it,
right.
and that's what you're going to do. It's going to compact, and you're going to be compressed.
Right.
Fluff it a little bit, and you may not have to do anything to restore that color a little bit as well. Pine bark mulch is something we were talking about. Pine bark is something that was used. I mean, we sold a lot of pine bark. Mm-hmm. Now we don't. And if you'd like to see it, we have it at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center. It's real pretty because it stays light and airy. It doesn't compact the way that regular mulches do. And you have a choice between mulch and mini nuggets. They're pretty close to the same texture. Mini nuggets are going to be, I don't know, about half an inch to an inch squarish. And then there's nuggets, which are the nuggets. And what this is, it's pure bark. And anytime that you're worried about termites or any of those types of insects, ants, and things, you want to use something that's pure bark, that it's the cellulose that's inside the tree that they eat, but they can't digest the bark. So when you see an insect, you ever wonder why is it always under the bark? It's never in the bark. It's that's what you're looking for. So that's why we say always use a bark-based product. But again, we talked on the way in about pine straw, and pine straw is basically pine needles. And I talked about using it. I did not need to mulch this year because we were doing a project around the house, and I didn't need to mulch because I didn't have any plants. But when I replant that, I'm going to be using pine straw.
Yeah.
More of a test, but if you go from, say, Virginia south, that's what they're using.
Everywhere.
That's where your folks in Georgia, you said,
yep.
right? My sister in South Carolina.
Yep.
That's all they use.
Everywhere.
And it's getting out here. It's a little bit pricey, but it's going to go a long way. And it maintains that fluffiness, and it maintains that dark color. So it's not going to fade like some of the other mulches will, and it's not going to compact around your plants. It'll still insulate them, because think about it. When you do insulation, a lot of times it's the air gap that you have in the insulation that actually keeps things insulated.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Did I mess up?
Well, coming from somebody who is currently insulating his basement, I agree with that.
Oh, you itchy?
Not yet. I'm using foam board. We're using the boards. Yeah, but we still have to do the rafters. So yeah. I'm with you. It's all about the air circulation.
That's it, and it's that gap. So I really am going to try that. If you haven't mulched or you haven't bare ground and you're just trying to decide which one to go with, try the pine straw. And again, it's pine needles, and that we were in a discussion. It was about calling it pine straw.
Pine straw or needles.
And it's pine needles.
Right.
And where they pick it up and they put it in a bale form. And a lot of times it's in this area, it's going to be in this plastic square bale.
But the needles are so long, they resemble straw.
Yeah.
So that's,
where it can and also down south, they bale it like straw to where it doesn't have a plastic cover on it. And we prefer it because we don't want it to get wet and moldy or anything like that, or fall apart like bales of straw so often do. So it hasn't reached mass appeal yet here in the north, but I think it's coming because it really works. And also, so we're talking about being green. So all right, recycled.
Yep.
20% demolition wood.
And pine grows super fast. So.
But mulch, 20% demolition wood means that could be 2x4s, which insects will eat.
Sure.
Bark products like the pine bark, the cedar mulch, pure bark or root, generally they do not eat that because there's not the cellulose in it. And pine bark nuggets, where does that come from? Do they just scrape the trees and kill the trees? No, it's like, you see those truckloads of 2x4s. Where did the bark go? The bark goes in a bag and it gets sold to people that use it as mulch. So again, it's green. It's green. Green. So if you haven't mulched, get out there. You can abide by that law. Take the chances of flirting with the I guess it's local government, right? Was it a local thing, or was it a New Jersey one?
State of New Jersey.
State of New Jersey.
State of New Jersey.
Yeah. Again, we're calling out to Bloomers in the Garden Nation. If you know in your state if that's a law, because we're reaching Southern Connecticut, we've got New York, and we've got Pennsylvania. So let us know if your community is requiring an 18-inch space between the structure and your mulch. I'm curious to how far that's gotten.